morning. It is day 26. Day 26, and I'm coming right along. I don't know why I'm so cheery all of a sudden, because this morning I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. And we went to the gym, and we did our warm-up, and then we went to do weights, and Jordan and I both were just not in the mood for it. So then we just went back on the treadmill. I put a little bit more incline on my treadmill, and I just walked because I was not in the mood to do a regular workout today. Just grumpy. I was grumpy. So I'm feeling a lot better now, actually. I want to give you a bit of an update as to where I'm at with everything, and then I definitely will give you a review of Devolution by Max Brooks because I finished that last night. Was able to get it in for my points for Tales from Two Trails. And then I forgot that we could steal a prompt from the other team. The only one that really worked well with books that I had already read within the time period that we needed to read it within was thriller. There was one of the prompts that the other team had to fulfill that was thriller. And so I chose the Thursday Murder Club. And I know that it's more mystery. There are some thriller elements in it. And if you look at Goodreads, it is shelved as, well, it's like mystery, this, and then like fourth down the line of tags that it had was mystery thriller, and it was also shelved as thriller a little further down. And so I submitted it for points. I think it would work. It's not as much thriller as other thrillers, like straight thriller stories, but it did have some thrilling elements to it. There were a few little, you know, like, oh, what's gonna happen sort of things. Weren't there? I mean, it was thrilling to me because I was thrilled to be reading it. So I said to Kim, I'll leave it up to your discretion whether or not you want to accept it. So hopefully you'll get some points from that because I didn't get Jade Legacy done, which was my other water prompt. So as far as reading goes, I am going to be focusing today completely on Jade Legacy because I did not get a chance to read anything last night. So I have my two 75-page sections. That's the first thing and the most important thing that I have to work on reading-wise today is this whole chunk right here. I have to get this whole chunk read because, yeah, I'm running out of time. I will be filming myself once I get to on chapter 37, and Paige was like, 40 is where you need to really start filming yourself because that's where I guess it starts getting really devastating. So I will be filming myself reading this so I can get some reactions. And like I said, if you're not interested in the reactions, just skip forward. But I know a lot of my Bookstar friends and a lot of people that are doing the read along with us do want to see the reactions, how we're going to respond to the difficult aspects of this book. I also need to do my hour of Wuthering Heights today. There we go. My hour of Wuthering Heights. Like I said, I'm currently on page 52, 53. So hopefully I'll be able to get this all completely done today, my hour of reading of that, and stay on top of that. Otherwise, I will carry over the time that I don't finish today and tomorrow because I really need to get this done. So this is, like I said, my priority. So I've been thinking about what I could use Devolution for my summer book bingo because I really want to count it for something here. And I've decided, obviously, I don't know why I didn't think about this before, it should be outside because this community of people have gone out to the wilderness in order to get into nature and to get away from the big cities. And yet they have the safety of their homes and all the electronics and everything that they have. But the reality is nature is still dangerous and the outside is still dangerous. And what is lurking outside? And they spend so much time outside, obviously trying to secure their place and to find help and try to figure out ways to help themselves. But a big portion of this is thinking about why nature, why the great outdoors can actually be a lot more dangerous than we think it is, and we should not think of it as just something that is fun and sweet and beautiful and pretty, but actually a dangerous place to be. And so I think that works really well for outside. And I've got one other book on here. Woohoo! It's going to take me a while to get a bingo. Okay, so I put it off and put it off and put it off. I can't put it off any longer. I have to rate Devolution, right? By Max Brooks. I don't know how to rate this. That's the problem. There were aspects of it, and I talked about this in my previous videos, that I wasn't crazy about. And yet, it was very entertaining. I continued to read it all the way through, listen to it all the way through, and every time I listened to it, I would be pulled into it. So it was very interesting. But I didn't love the characters. I didn't think that they explored the characters in this situation as much as they could have. I mean, we did focus on certain characters, but I think there were motivations and there were behaviors of other characters that I didn't love and would have liked to have seen either we dive into those characters even more so I can feel some sympathy for them, or I don't know. It's hard to say. And I felt like we did a lot of build up for the very end to be quick and dirty. And actually, I liked that. I did like the final, I don't even want to say what, but like the final thing, the final scene, the final aspect of this was high action, thrilling. It was interesting. It was gruesome. Like, the whole thing is really gruesome. So definitely when we're ever in contact with these Sasquatch creatures, it's gruesome. So just be warned of that. It is a horror story. But at the end, like some of the speculations, which they want to leave you with speculations so that you don't know exactly what happened in some ways, but you're left to wonder. I knew that was going to be what was going to happen, and that's fine. I don't mind that. But some of the speculations that the characters had, I was like, I don't know. It just seemed too speculative. I mean, it is supposed to be dramatic because it is the attack of Sasquatch, but it was just so like, but it could be this. I prefer to think that this was the end and this is what happened. The wording and the way things were talked about at times, I felt like they were very clinical, and sometimes that was really appropriate. Sometimes it wasn't, but then other times when I felt like I would have preferred a more clinical commentary from some of the people who were having commentary to this journalist, I would have appreciated more of an emotional or clinical response. Like, either be fully emotional, but be realistically emotional, or be clinical because you are meant to have a more professional perspective. And so I don't know how to explain that well. I just felt like there were some misses here and there with the way our author chose to portray interviews or portray some of the characters in this. That being said, I found this very entertaining. I enjoyed listening to this. It was a really good audiobook, really well done audiobook. I read that somebody really did not like it's the actress, I don't remember her name, something Greer, the actress that played the main female character's voice, and they didn't like it at all. But I thought it was kind of appropriate, especially considering her personality. The personality of the main character fit this actress's voice really well. Really, really well, in my opinion. And it was a little like, ugh, I don't like this character. And I thought that the voice was appropriate for how much I didn't like the character because of the personality that was portrayed in the actual writing, though, in the script and what we're learning about this character, because we're in her head, we're in her journal. Yeah, I still don't know how to rate it. It's at least a 3.5, maybe a 3.75. Could it be a 4-star? Maybe. Enjoyment-wise, I would say it's a 4-star. But execution, I'm not sure if I'd give it more than I don't know. This at least was a bigger success than World War Z, which means that my second chance with this author was a successful one. I usually have a very strong gut feeling about how I want to rate certain books. This one has stumped me. I don't know. So let's just call it a 3.75 and maybe a 4 because of the audiobook. So the audiobook pulls it up to a 4-star, and we'll call it a day. How's that sound? Why don't you tell me what you thought about this book in the comment section down below? I know someone who did not like it. She commented on one of my other videos saying how much she thought this was a horrible book. The characters were pretty icky. I mean, they were really icky, and there were some strong stereotypes here and there. I don't know. I'd be curious your thoughts. I just guess I found it really entertaining to listen to. Also, I was thinking even more about this particular prompt because I was looking, I could easily get a book bingo here because I'm planning on reading A Curious Beginning soon. This one is a romance, and it's called Road Tripped, and I think that would be fun to read while I'm on my road trip. And so I'm like, I could get this one as long as I could find a book for relax. And I was thinking about books that I feel would be relaxing or have a word in the title that is similar to relax, and then I remembered that I own The Comfort Book by Matt Haig, and this is a book that is like anecdotes, short stories, things like, just like little bits here and there. And what I decided to do was read, like Mom and I sometimes like to read poetry together and stuff like that. And I was like, well, if these are little short snippets and short stories and stuff, not even stories, but like short little anecdotes and sections where he's just kind of thinking about different things that have to do with comfort and feeling good, or how to better care for yourself emotionally. Like, I could just read this to Mom and then both of us can count this. And I'm not gonna read it all in one day. I think I'm gonna try and do 20 pages a day. So I've read my 20 pages today, and when I'm on my trip, I'll just call Mom and be like, hey, here's our 20 pages for the day, and we can read it together. And that way we both can count that for comfort, which will be really nice. So sorry, that won't be one that you get to roll for. Are you okay with that? She's okay with it. And then the last thing I went over was this comfort playlist that Matt Haig put together. It's his own playlist of different songs that he feels brings him comfort. He's like, they're not necessarily the most heartwarming songs sometimes. Sometimes they're kind of sad, but they still bring him comfort for some reason. And I was like, that would be a great relax activity. Create a comfort playlist, because I just love the idea of that. And there are definitely some songs, and if I think about it even more and I go through my song list, songs that bring me comfort or songs that I like to listen to when I'm feeling either low or when I just want to feel relaxed. These are songs that I like to listen to. And I was thinking that'd be a lot of fun to put together my own playlist, my own comfort relaxation playlist. So I'll definitely lean more into the relaxing aspect of it. But also comfort, I think, works well with relaxation, because oftentimes when you need comfort is when you have to find the time to relax. So I think this works both ways, and that's going to be my activity. I'm super excited about it, because I was like trying to figure out what's a good relaxation activity or relax activity that's not something I already do, you know, or something that's a little unique from what I already do to relax, you know, like reading. Okay, I read every day, like, and that can be relaxing, or go for a walk or take Cece for a walk or something. I don't do it all the time, but when I do, I feel relaxed or comforted, but like, that's not too different, you know? So I was trying to think of something unique that would set this activity apart. So I'd be like, oh yeah, that was a wonderful thing that I did that I'm glad I got done this summer. And it'll be something that I can use in the future. I can always just go listen to my comfort or relax playlist when I need to feel relaxed or comforted. I love it. For example, and this is funny because Mom and I were talking about it, one of the songs that I love that makes me feel very comforted and relaxing is Don't Worry, Be Happy by Bobby Darin. Bobby Darin? I think that's his name. Oh, Bobby McFerrin. Okay, I was close. It's just a pleasant song. But the wording, don't worry, is really triggering for Mom. So for her, that song is not relaxing. And so it was interesting to think of like, how some things may work for you as an individual, but they're not going to work for somebody else. And that was a funny conversation we were having. The other song that I think of that I used to use all the time when I needed to relax or calm down when I was at UT in Austin, when I was at college, was Don't Stop Me Now by Queen. That is definitely going to go on my list, because that one, I used to play it over and over again when I was just feeling so stressed. I was in a science program that was very competitive, and I am a competitive person. And so sometimes I just had to feel that like I am empowered, and Don't Stop Me Now is a very empowering song for me. And once I get it together, I will share it with you so you can see what my comfort playlist is. And I'd love to hear in the comment section down below some of the songs you would put on your own comfort playlist. Very excited about that. And then I did some tabbies on different things, and I did highlight some things in here. I'm not usually much of an annotator, but these are the kind of books that are easier to annotate because you know you might want to come back to it at some point and just be reminded of things. And the first one I loved was this very first one, actually. It's called Baby, and it says, imagine yourself as a baby. You would look at that baby and think they lacked nothing. That baby came complete. Their value was innate from their first breath. Their value did not depend on external things like wealth or appearance or politics or popularity. It was the infinite value of a human life. This is the part where I start getting choked up. And that value stays with us, even as it becomes easier to forget it. We stay precisely as alive and precisely as human as we were the day we were born. The only thing we need is to exist and to hope. Like that, we stay precisely as alive and precisely as human as we were the day we were born. I think a lot to myself about like, one of the reasons why I love working with kids is because I just see so much humanity in them and so much potential, and they haven't been jaded by life yet, and they're just so incredible, and they're so interesting, and I find children very, very exciting and interesting, and I see the value of what they're going to become and what they can do with their lives. And then I was thinking to myself, like, but it doesn't matter that they're children or I'm an adult. Like, there's nothing in my life that makes me any less valuable, any less full of potential, any less exciting. Just that the way we start valuing things changes as we get older. And it is still true that we are all incredibly valuable at any points in our life. And I just thought that that is something that I needed to be reminded. I just need to be reminded of that. So I thought, yeah, okay. So yeah, I just thought that was an important thing to remember. And I'm a little weepy right now. So I was like reading this to Mom and I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna cry for everything. So then the other thing I really loved was this: to be is to let go. So, and this is really short. So self-forgiveness makes the world better. You don't become a good person by believing you are a bad one. And I thought that this little thing is just so important because it's something that I struggle with. I struggle with self-forgiveness. I am very critical. I'm hypercritical of myself because I'm always wanting to be a better person, to be stronger, to be this, to be that. But all of that noise gets exhausting. And sometimes you just need to just think of yourself as being that good person, and that actually makes the world a better place, because the more we appreciate and love ourselves, the more happy we are in general. Like, as you know, like, I know that everything is not easy. I know that for people who suffer from depression or have PTSD or things like that, it's not easy to do these things. But just like finding love and care for ourselves actually makes us a little happier or a little less burdened by some of the things we burden ourselves with. That can make the world a better place because we're kinder to ourselves than we are kinder to everybody else around us. So I just liked to be is to let go. Self-forgiveness makes the world better. It's true. At least I believe it's true. You don't become a good person by believing you are a bad one. That is so true. So yeah, I'm already getting a lot out of this. I mean, it's probably not perfect, but I'm really enjoying it. And this is what I need right now because I spend a lot of time, and I spent a lot of time this school year being hypercritical of myself. And so just to relax and to sit and think of some of the things that I need to be reminded of, because, you know, we know all these things. So the reality of when it comes to a lot of self-help books and things like that is we tend to know a lot of it. We already know. But we need reminders, and I like books like this for the reminders that it gives us. And I had a great year, and I learned so much, but it was a tough year. And I think it's a good time to reflect, and this will give me a chance to reflect on it. So yeah, I'm gonna read this with my mom. So I'm currently also reading this book. I've got a lot of books I'm currently reading, but I'm excited about figuring out what I want to do for that relaxed spot, because I was like, what am I going to do for this? What am I going to do for this? Okay, so apparently I was so excited about my comfort/relaxation playlist that I just went and did it. I created it. That's what I spent the last hour doing. And I'm going to list it right here so you can see what it is. I've added 60 songs to this. 60-ish. Some of them are sad, like they make me sad, but they also sometimes crying and being sad is comforting or relaxing to me. There's also some that are a little more fast paced, but I like the message and I feel like that's comforting and relaxing. I don't know for sure if I really genuinely believe these are all comforting and relaxing. And so what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play it for myself when I need comfort or relaxation. And if any of them don't work, or just I'm like, nah, that actually doesn't fit the bill, I will take it off. Or if I'm like, oh, I forgot about this song should be added, I'll add it on. So it's gonna be a list that I work on. And it'll be a great little playlist for when I need comfort or need to relax and just need to put something on that will give me all those vibes. So yeah, I am excited about this. So I can finally cross off one of my activities on my summer book bingo. Hold on. It was also really exciting because it helped me to not rediscover, but I was going through my Spotify list, and most of these songs are from my Spotify list, my starred list. But I was able to rediscover a band that I used to listen to all the time that I forgot, and I haven't added it on my Spotify list at all, and that was Keen. Did anybody listen to Keen? It's the one that goes, and if you have a minute, why don't we go talk about it somewhere only we know. This can't be the end of everything, so why don't we go somewhere only we know. That was really flat, but that's the song. I loved that song. I loved that album. I loved Keen. I loved his voice, and that was definitely one I added to my comfort relaxation. But it's also one that I had to add to my starred songs because I didn't have any of their songs on my Spotify. So it was fun to do this little exploration where I got to go back and listen to old songs or songs I haven't heard in a while and figure out what to add to this list. And it could be that I need to change it, but at least I've got something going. So very, very excited about that. One thing that I absolutely love about this series in general is how complex the characters are, especially one of our main characters, Hilo. In one chapter, he'll go from making you cry because he is so thoughtful and he has such a capacity for change in a lot of ways, and you think he's coming to his senses and the things he says are beautiful, but then like within the next section, he is back to his old ways, or he like negates everything that he said or did, and it just, you're like and I can see why people are really frustrated and can't stand this character, but I love that complexity about him because it makes him way more interesting to me. It makes me enjoy getting to know all of his little quirks and issues, and like the psychology of this character is fascinating to me. And so it's just like, I was like, oh, that was so beautiful. And oh, of course he couldn't just let it be beautiful, could he? No. Well, I can see why Paige wanted me to start recording my reactions at chapter 40, because she feels some way about a certain character, and this chapter didn't make him look great. Clever move there, Paige. Okay, so I have finished editing my vlog for the day, and that's rendering now. I haven't been doing too much today. Like, I did some yard work earlier, and then I started working on Jade Legacy. Oh, I did spend a lot of time... I spent a lot of time listening to my comfort relaxation playlist. And I've definitely changed some songs on there, got rid of some songs. I'm still working through it so that when I put it up on YouTube, it'll be a more definitive playlist that you can listen to if you feel like. Obviously, my taste in music is my taste in music, and it's not going to be the same as everybody else's. So I'm sure there will be songs that you'll be like, what is she putting on here? And that's okay. Some of it's nostalgic. Some of it's just because I love the sound of it and it feels so relaxing. Like, there's one song by Sam Smith on there that it's like, if you listen to the actual lyrics, which I do love the lyrics of that song because it's like unrequited love, but it's also not pleasant. It's sad, and it's, you know, but at the same time, it's so beautiful. It's like painfully beautiful. The song, the music, it's just so stunning that it always makes me feel just relaxed. I love to sing to it. And a lot of the songs on here are songs that I love to sing to because I'm definitely someone who loves lyrical songs because I love to sing along. And so some of them are more fun and upbeat because they just make me happy and dance, and that's relaxing to me as well. So I'm having a lot of fun really trying to figure out what is relaxing to me and what I want on a playlist that will bring me joy in those moments when I need comfort or relaxation. And there was definitely one where I'm like, okay, it's okay to have some sad songs on here, but there was one that was too sad. I was like, oh, no, that's too sad. Gotta take that off. So I'm having fun playing around with it. And I've spent a good portion of the day just playing around with that. But that's okay, because it's one of my challenges, and it's giving me wonderful vibes. And that was the whole point of having these activities, these summer activities, is to give me something different out of the norm that I would do. So anyways, just, yeah, having a good time with that today. And I've been working on Jade Legacy, but I feel like I'm focusing so much. I mean, I'm focusing on reading this, obviously. And I'm almost finished with the 73 pages I should have read from yesterday. Still haven't read any of the 73 pages I'm supposed to be reading for today. But part of the problem is I keep futzing around with my camera because I'm like, well, I'm at the point where Paige and the rest of the Bookstara read-alongs wants me to really record some of my reactions. And I'm having some big reactions. I'm having fun. But I end up like being really focused on my phone and like, oh, pause it. There was no reactions there. Delete. Start it again. Oh, pause it. There was no reactions there. Delete. Getting hyper fixated on my phone. So like I'm distracted. I'm not reading as long as I should be. That is the only problem with filming yourself. And I know some people would be pretty good about like just letting it film and just sit there and film you. I guess I'm not good at that because I keep like getting distracted and wanting to stop and delete so I don't use up all my space on my phone as opposed to just letting it record me for a long period of time. So that's distracting. It's distracting. And so I am kind of like reading and trying to anticipate where there might be moments that are shocking or sad and then trying to film that. I don't know. We'll see. Something really big has happened. It was definitely a little predictable. So like not predictable in a bad way, but I didn't have as big of a reaction as I might have. I did earlier to something else. I had a big reaction, but I didn't have as big a reaction to this particular turn of events because I kind of knew it was coming, or at least it foreshadowed it well. And so I'm gonna see what the result is because it could be really, really bad. So I'm currently on page 490. And I need to read through to 577. So I still have less than 100 pages left, but a little over 73 pages to read. That's a lot. But I've read a lot. But I have to read all this. If I'm going to be able to get this book done by Friday, I've got to get this read. So that's what I'm focusing all my time on right now. I haven't read any of Wuthering Heights today, but really I want to make extreme progress on this. I'm not feeling stressed about it for Friday. Okay, so it is late. It's almost 11, and I did not get any of my hour of Wuthering Heights in today. So I'm going to carry over that hour to tomorrow. Hopefully I get time to work on it tomorrow. I made really, really good progress in this, but I still have a little bit left for today to be caught up with what I need to read. And so I've got about 30 pages left, and I'm going to take this to my room and hopefully read it until I fall asleep. And then tomorrow I definitely need to make sure I stay on top of my reading with this, because I have 2 days left, and not even full days, because on Friday the live show is at 5 p.m. my time. So I'm going to get this done, and it's going well. This last section there was a lot happening, and it almost felt like I was somewhat detached from it because there was just so much happening, and not that I didn't enjoy it. I almost feel like I could just reread that section again. I also don't have time for that. So I feel like I just need to kind of sit with it and digest all the things that happened in that section. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe so you can see what happens on day 27. I'm almost done with my daily vlogging. We're coming close to the end. That's pretty wild. I'm almost feeling like I might miss it. Although on my trip, I can't be daily vlogging. I can't be editing every single day on my trip. And that's coming up soon too. I feel like I'm not even close to I haven't thought about what I'm going to pack or bring with me, because I'm just going to pack up my car or mom's car and go. But I want to make sure there's some rhyme and reason to it all as well. I'm ready and excited, but at the same time, I'm like, I leave Monday. It's a lot. So we'll see what happens. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later. Good night.